Hello everyone, my name is Vaishnavi, and in this video I would be telling you all what you should be focusing on in these last 4 days before the exam, and also certain tips on how to crack the exam, and also we would be focusing on what all topics you should be studying subject wise in these last 4 days. So without any further ado, let's begin. Okay, so our first subject is Constitution. Constitution contains 10 questions, 10 marks as per the given syllabus by AIBE. Now, the books that you should be having for this subject is the Bare Act, which is extremely important for all the subjects, because if you don't still have the Bare Acts, then do get them before the exam, because they will help you a lot in solving the questions there. And now there are certain other books as well that you could be taking for the Constitution, and those are of J.N. Pandey, P.M. Bakshi, D.D. Basu. Those are renowned authors for the Constitution, and they would be giving you the deeper meaning of the subject, and they would also be helping you in solving the conceptual based questions in the exam. Now, the important topics that you should be focusing on in the Constitution are the preamble, fundamental rights, then 5 writs, constitutional amendments, then the executive, the emergency provisions, the basic structure of the Constitution, as well as go through certain doctrines of the Constitution, then go through the recent amendments, certain landmark cases, and also don't forget to go through the Bare Act as well, because if you're not familiar with the Bare Act, then it will be difficult for you there. Okay, so our next subject is the Indian Penal Code 1860. This subject also has the weightage of 10 questions, 10 marks. Also go through the syllabus that has been provided by AIBE, so that you know that what is the weightage of each subject. Although I'm going to tell you this throughout the video subject wise, but still if you have its PDF, do go through it. And now the important books that you should be carrying for the Indian Penal Code would be its Bare Act. Bare Act is important for all the subjects, so please make it available for yourself, and do carry it in the exam. The other books that you could be carrying for Indian Penal Code would be the K.D. Gore, Ratan Lal and Dheeraj Lal. These two authors are renowned ones that have given extremely deeper knowledge of the Indian Penal Code in their books. And now the important topics that you should be focusing on for the Indian Penal Code would be the introduction, then the of punishments, then general exceptions, right to private defense, of offences affecting the human body, and offences relating to marriage, of defamation. All of these topics are extremely important, yet these are very long topics, so just skim through them and just go through them once. And if you don't really have the time to even skim through them, then go through their headings in the index part of the Bare Act. So that will also be helpful for you. And here's another tip that you should be doing, that turn the pages of these important topics in your Bare Act or any other book that you're taking for the subject, so it will be easier for you to find the topics there rather than just going through the pages and searching for them, because there is time constraint in the exam, and this time constraint would be very crucial, because there are 100 questions that you need to be solving, though you just have to get 40 marks, but there is no negative marking. So I would suggest that if you are capable and if you have the resources, then do attempt all the 100 questions. So that will also help you in passing it thoroughly and easily. Our next subject is the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. This subject also has the weightage of 10 questions, 10 marks. Now, the important books that are recommended for this would be the Bare Act, of course, and the next ones would be of Ratan Lal and Dheeraj Lal, then Pillai. These two authors have also given their books in the best format possible for the CRPC. And the important topics that you should be focusing on are arrest of a person, summons, warrant and arrest, bailable and non-bailable offences, order for maintenance of wives, children and parents. And if you find any other topic that is more important than these ones that you should be going through, then do go through them, because I might have missed a few, but these are the extremely important ones that you should be doing. And if you are still not able, and if you're still wondering that I need to read more, then go through the other topics as well. And if you find anything missing in these topics, then do mention them in the comment section down below. Our next subject is the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. The important books that would be recommended for this subject are its Direct, the book by MP Jain, and the book by C.K. Takwani. These two books give you the deeper meaning of the subject, and this would be also helpful for you in the examination for solving the conceptual based questions. And if you are not able to find these books, then you can take any other book that you have read in your college time as well. That is also useful for you. And now the important topics that you need to focus on for this subject are preliminary, suits in general, interpleader suits, particular cases, appeal, reference, review and revision. There are also certain orders that you need to focus on in these last 4 days and skim through them as well. So the orders will be appearing, the number of the orders will be appearing on your screens right now. And if you want the PDF of these orders, then do mention that in the comment section down below. I will provide that as well. Our next subject is the Indian Evidence Act 1872. It has 8 questions and 8 marks. The important books that I would recommend for this one would be its Direct, of course. The other books would be of K.D. Gore and Dr. V. Nageshwara Rao. Now the important topics that you need to cover for this subject would be preliminary, of relevancy of facts, admissions, on proof, types of evidence, and examination of witnesses. And if you find any other topic that is important, then you can go through that as well. But these topics you should definitely go through. Okay, so our next subject is ADR, that is Alternative Dispute Resolution. It contains 4 marks and 4 questions. Now the important books that you need to be carrying for this is Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. If you get the Direct, then it's fantastic. And if you get the other version of the book as well, then it's also good. And you can also take notes from the internet. Now the important topics that you should be focusing on for this subject are the ADR mechanisms, arbitration, conciliation, mediation and negotiation, the arbitration awards, international and domestic arbitration, Lok Adalats, NALSA. Our next subject is the family law. This has the weightage of 8 questions, 8 marks. This contains of 2 laws, that is the Hindu law and the Mohammedan law or the Muslim law. The important books for the same would be of Paras Diwan, and the second one would be of the Directs of the Hindu law and the Muslim law. And if you can get any other author's book for the same, then also it's okay. Now the important topics for the Hindu law that you need to cover would be Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act, Adoption and Maintenance Act, and Hindu Disposition of Property Act. Now you just have to skim through these acts and also refer to the important topics that you find would be asked in the examination. Now moving on to the Mohammedan law, the important topics that you need to cover for this would be the sources of Muslim law, schools of Muslim law, nikah and the classification of marriage, preemption, meher, and if you find any other topic that's more important, then go through that as well. Okay, our next subject is PIL, that is public interest litigation. From this, mostly case law based questions are asked and the landmark cases that you need to refer to for the same. If you want the PDF for this subject as well, then I'll provide you for the same. Do mention that in the comment section down below. Now the important books would be the internet resources and the certain PDFs that are available online. The next one is the administrative law, 3 questions, 3 marks. The books recommended for the same would be of MP Jain and GM Wagh, and also do make notes of your own from the internet. And the important topics that you need to focus on for this subject, that is the administrative law, would be introduction, separation of powers, rule of law, judicial review, delegated legislation, legitimate expectation, proportionality doctrine, and Magna Carta. All of these would be available to you on the internet, so do make notes of your own. That is more advisable for this subject. Now moving on, the next one is of professional ethics and cases of professional misconduct, 4 questions, 4 marks. To take the Bar Act of the Advocates Act 1961 for this, and also take a printout of the BCI rules. The important from this, mostly case law based questions are asked. So if you want a list, do mention that in the comments. I would provide you the PDF for the same. Now the next subject is the company law. 2 questions, 2 marks. Do take the Bar Act of the Company Law 2013 or of the 1956, but 2013 is more recommended. Our next subject is the environmental laws. 2 questions, 2 marks. For this subject, you can take the notes from the internet and refer to the previous year questions. From this also, case law based questions are asked in the previous years, so it is advisable that you go through them and also refer to the certain amendments in the recent past. Now our next subject is cyber laws. 2 questions, 2 marks. Books recommended would be the Bar Act of the Information and Technology Act 2000 and recent amendments of the same. Our next subject is labor and industrial laws. 4 questions, 4 marks. The books recommended would be the Bar Act of the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, Code on Wages 2019, Labor Codes 2020, all the 3 labor codes that have come out in this year, to take a printout of the same if possible, or you can skim through them and make notes of your own. Moving on, our next few subjects are Torts, Motor Vehicle Act and Consumer Protection Act. Now the books recommended for torts are of R.K. Bangia and J.N. Pandey. Both of these authors have given the knowledge of torts in these books in extreme depth, so it will be easier for you to understand them, or else you can make notes of your own. Now the important topics that you need to cover for torts are the nature and definition, vicarious, strict and absolute liabilities, remedies, negligence, defamation, nuisance, conspiracy, false imprisonment, malicious prosecution. All of these topics are given in depth in the R.K. Bangia's book, so you just need to skim these through and make notes of your own, or you can make notes from the internet sources of the same as well. Moving on, Motor Vehicles Act 1988, take the Bar Act of the same, and Consumer Protection Act 2019, take the Bar Act of that as well. Also go through the recent amendments and landmark judgments regarding the same. The next topic is taxation law. 4 questions, 4 marks. The important book that you need to take is the Bar Act of the Income Tax Act 1961. Now moving on, the next one is Contract Act and Specific Relief Act. Take the Bar Acts of both of these acts and also if possible and if available, take the book of Avatar Singh. The important topics that you need to cover for the Contract Act are nature and formation of the contract, free consent, void, voidable, legal, illegal, unenforceable agreements, breach of the contract, indemnity guarantee, insurance and agency. All of these are the types of contracts. These also you need to go through. Now the next one is Property Laws, Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. Now the books recommended for these two would be the Transfer of Properties Act 1882, the Bar Act of the same, and the book by Avatar Singh. And for the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, take the Bar Act of it as well. For the Land Acquisition Act, it's 2 questions, 2 marks. For this subject, make notes of your own from the internet. Intellectual Property Rights, 2 questions, 2 marks. Now the books recommended for the same would be the Bar Acts of Trademark, Copyright, Patents and Trade Secrets. And if you're not able to get any of these Bar Acts, then make certain short notes or make charts. All of these are available for you online, so yes, you can do that as well. Okay, so now we are at the end of the video and we have been through all the subjects that have been mentioned in the syllabus of AIBE that has been officially provided by the Bar Council of India. Now, if by chance I have left any of the important topics in this video, then and if you find that this is important for the exam, then also for that do mention that in the comment section down below. And don't forget to share, like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Goodbye.